Hello and welcome to AHS Countdown. I'm your host, Max West, and I'm joined by co-hosts Taylor Gottney and Reese Kinder. And today we got a huge matchup between the Smith Station Panthers and the number 5 Auburn Tigers. This is the 34th ever time that these two teams have played, and Auburn leads the series currently coming into this game 26-7. The last time these two teams met was in Week 11 of last season and was Auburn's senior night, and a game where Auburn came out victorious 63-0 at home. Now let's start off with the Smith Station Panthers. They are currently 1-8 overall, as well as 1-6 in Region 2 play so far this season. The Panthers are coming off of a tough loss last week, though, against Percy Julian, the Phoenix, on the road by a score of 35-10. The Panthers' only win this season came 2 weeks ago when they beat the Jaguars 16-8 at home. All of that being said, what are some things that this Smith Station team will need to do to secure the win tonight?
Well, it's safe to say this offense hasn't had the production they've wanted so far. They've only scored 93 points in the entire season, and they've struggled to move the ball downfield really fast. I would say, though, this run game for Smith Station is actually amazing. The force is led by number 3, Quentin Brooks, who has 933 yards and 6 touchdowns on the season. He has almost half of their points that they've scored all season. He averages 133 yards a game, and he'll be a force to stop for the Auburn defense. Look out for him. Although on paper this offense may not look like the best with the record, the scoring and everything, this O-line and running back room could really pose a problem for the Tigers tonight.
Smith Station defensively, they haven't really done well this year on defense. Their best game was against Jag, held them to about 8 points, and they won. But they're really going to have to step it up tonight in order to get a big win against the Tigers.
Yeah, and coming off their first win since Week 7 of the season are the number 5 Auburn Tigers, who are 7-2 overall and 5-2 in Region 2 play after that easy win last week at home against Prattville by a score of 48-0 on their senior night. Considering this Auburn team is a 43-point favorite coming into this game, according to AHSFHS.org, it's safe to say that Auburn will have a good chance to come out of this tonight's game with a W. With all that being said, how do the Auburn Tigers get it done tonight against the Panthers?
Jackson Kilgore came back for the Tigers last game. He was amazing. He had 2 touchdowns. I actually interviewed him on Monday. He said, the week looked like a normal week. They knew he was coming back. They ran him in drills, him and Henry both, with the dual quarterback situation. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But really this whole Auburn offense, they almost got Coach Wagg's pregame goal of 50 that he told everyone, and they played very good. Omar and Tyler had 246 yards combined and 3 total touchdowns. 3 different receivers caught touchdowns, all seniors: Cody Palmer, Griffin McLean, and Gibson Lovefridge. And the O-line played great as well. Overall, this offense was stellar, and they'll be looking to continue that against the Smith Station Panthers defense tonight. Yeah,
Auburn's been great on defense. Last game held Prattville scoreless. I'm expecting that tonight their defense is putting up great numbers, as the team has 302 solo tackles, 282 assisted tackles, and 15 average sacks during their games this season. The 15 average sacks, that's a big number for them, especially, trying to get pressure on the quarterback. 6 interceptions as well. Not a lot of turnovers, but, if the Tigers can get stops, I think they win.
Yeah, and with this being the last week in the regular season, there's a whole lot to play for tonight, especially if you're the Auburn Tigers, because if Auburn wins tonight's game against Smith Station and Percy Julian gets an upset win on the road against Enterprise tonight, Auburn will clinch the 2 seed in Region 2 going into the playoffs and host next week. And even though the Panthers are already eliminated from the playoffs this year, they would love nothing more than to upset the Auburn Tigers at home tonight on their senior night and build momentum going into next season. That being said, what are some things that this Tigers team needs to improve on from last game? I know they got a 48-point shutout, but what are some things that they need to improve on from last game to come out of this game with a W?
I'm sure it's going to be the same for both of us. It's really hard to find something that Auburn didn't do well on the offensive side. But if I had to say one thing, we kind of stepped off the gas a little bit when we got to the second half. We were up by so much. I want complete domination. I want to put up 100 on the Smith Station Panthers. Wow. If we get off to a lead, we cannot stop pushing on the gas, and we have to dominate and impress going into the playoffs next week against whoever we go against. We only scored 14 points in the second half. That's, the stat. 14 points in the second half, not great. 7-7, third and fourth quarter. And we wanted to score a little bit more against Prattville. So let's push the gas pedal the whole game, keep the motor running, and we should be good.
Yeah, last game, I didn't really see anything wrong with Auburn's defense. We were able to get big stops, a lot of pressure on the QB, like I said, for my key to the game last week. And, just come out and play well again, and you should be able to get a big win.
Yeah, and with that, we move into tonight's keys to the game. Now, Auburn has different X factors that can help them take over a game. What do you think those X factors are or will be in this game?
So the dual quarterback situation and the run game was executed perfectly last game. We had an even amount of snaps for both quarterbacks, Henry Allen and Jackson Kilgore. And the play calling for those two styles was perfect. Henry Allen, more of a run-first quarterback. Jackson aired it out deep on the go routes, the out routes and everything. I mean, it was perfect. And shout out to the offensive coaches that led our players and the game plan. I mean, it was curated, it was created, it was amazing to watch. And if we can do that again and recover Jackson slowly, just like we did last game, he should be, full force this game. We shall see, but we should have a great game if we keep doing that.
Yeah, my key to the game is don't let Smith Station get big plays, and also don't underestimate them, because I interviewed Coach Etheridge after the game last week, and I asked him about the playoffs, and he was like, you can't overlook Smith Station even though they have one win on the year. They're still a team that we are going to play on our schedule, and you can't overlook teams on your schedule. And he said that they just had to get through this game, but defensively, I think Auburn just needs to keep doing what they're doing, and they should be able to win here tonight.
And with that, we move into tonight's player profiles, where we will each highlight one player on offense, defense, and a wild card player that I will select from either side of the ball. That will be crucial tonight for Auburn High. Who do y'all have as y'all's player profiles for tonight's matchup against the Smith Station Panthers?
I promise I didn't leave you out, man. My player profile is an absolute tank on the O-line, the guy that everyone literally has to look up to, the senior O-lineman, the 6'4", number 77, Case Whaley. Guys, he's super big, of course, but he's also just a matchup nightmare on the O-line. He's disciplined. He executes his blocks perfectly every single game. Coach Stanford highlighted him on play callers. Just an overall great player. And if he can have the game that he's had all season, the Smith Station Panthers might want to try him to stay in high school for another year and get him to transfer to Smith Station, get him to move a little 30 minutes down the road. But he's so good, and he's going to have an elite game against this weaker Smith Station defense.
Yeah, for my player profile, I'm choosing junior defensive end, number 11, Caleb Pitts. He has 37 solo tackles. I'm glad he's a junior. Good that he's coming back next year. That would really help for our defense. And, 47 total tackles and averages 5 sacks per game. 5 sacks per game is a lot. That's on Max Prep's 5 sacks per game. I don't know if that's true, but
he has 45 sacks.
Get your stats right, but per game, and so if he plays well tonight, I think Auburn gets a big win. But yeah, 5 sacks per game is a little outrageous.
I think that was 5 sacks in the season, Reese.
No, it's per game. It's a per game.
Well, Reese, you said he had 47 total tackles. 45
yes.
of them.
Hey, Caleb Pitts is he's a really good player.
Even if those stats aren't true, Caleb Pitts is
he's an absolute dog. I was surprised that you actually hadn't done him this season yet. But now as my wild card, I'm going to do number 75, Trenton Pritchett. I'm thinking the same way that you're thinking. This offensive line, I'm looking for them to really dominate against this weaker Smith Station defensive line. Going into that playoffs, really just showing their dominance. And Trenton Pritchett's, he's a 6'4" sophomore. You talk about Case Whaley being 6'4" as a senior. This kid's already 6'4" as a sophomore. Right tackle. Pritchett wasn't even a starter at the beginning of this year, but he's worked his way up to a starting spot, and he's proven that it's well-deserved. Also, besides Omar Mapson, Trenton is the only other sophomore, offense or defense, starting on either side of the ball for this Auburn Tigers team. Trenton's going to have a good night. Case and Caleb are going to have a good night. And now we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but don't go away, because next up is the Friday Night Lineup. Don't go away.
Extinction is forever. To save America's most iconic and imperiled species from extinction, we must fight for their future. Fight to save the natural lands that wildlife call home. Fight to limit pollution. Fight for smart development. Fight for their future. And fight for ours. For so goes nature, so goes us.
Welcome back to AHS Countdown, and so far this season we have had 9 different guest pickers come onto this show, and all from the HiDef staff, and they've all fared pretty well on these picks, from communications director Carson Hester becoming the first and only ever guest picker in the 2 seasons that we've done this show to go undefeated on the picks, to last week when our most recent guest picker, the podcasting director Mason Vandeventer, went 7-1 on the picks.
No way.
And with all that being said, please help me in welcoming this week's special guest picker. He's currently the head CTSO of HiDef, and today's game is extra special for him because he actually graduated from Smith Station High School. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Dillard. Now, Dillard, as CTSO of HiDef Club, what exactly does your job entail?
What doesn't it? Katie, go get my painting of myself. Go get it. Thank you. For me, it's everything. So you think about everything HiDef does: social media, broadcast. What else do we do?
Videography.
Videography.
Podcast.
Man, if you haven't seen Blue Collar Mentality, make sure you catch that every Wednesday or Thursday if I do it on time. Right? I have not released today's episode. But man, we do everything. It's on the back table.
Yeah. Gosh.
Right? They're getting my painting.
Okay.
But you know, we anything media wise here at Auburn High School, we pretty much handle, and we do a lot. Sometimes we spread ourselves a little bit too thin, right? But man, we do it all, right? And this lovely painting really illustrates everything, right? There we go, right? Had a student, Ash Foster. Thank you, Ash. Who drew this for me, right? See, look at the resemblance. Reese, get out the, right? Who drew this for me? There we go, right? I'm the king.
Yep.
I'm the king.
Actually, LeBron's the king, but you know.
Well, I have a full head of hair, so.
Jeez.
All right.
And with that, we move into our last segment, which is the Friday night lineup, where we will all pick who we think is going to win the biggest games of tonight across the state of Alabama. And we're going to go ahead and get started with a 2A at a 3A matchup. So we've only gone as low as 6A this entire season. But since it's the last week of the year, we're going to go to all the different divisions and see what their biggest games are. And so we're going to start off with number 2 in the 2A division, 5 Red Devils. They're 8-1 and 4-0. When going on the road, and they're going on the road to number 7 in 3A, Sylvania Rams, who are 8-1 overall and 3-1 when playing at home. Who do y'all got between the Red Devils and the Rams?
So Sylvania is favored by 2 in this game. I understand because, you know, the classification advantage and the rankings are similar, but 5 has had a great season, and they're not going to stop now before the playoffs. Give me the 5 Red Devils winning back on the road in the hectic environment against Sylvania. Go Red Devils.
I mean, I'm gonna be quite honest. If y'all know anything about high school football, you never count out Fife. They are the big dogs down there in that 2A kind of 3A region. Sylvania, great team, respect them, but you always bet on the Devils. Okay, always bet. You got that, Reese? Okay, always bet on the Devils. Give me Fife.
Well, I think I'm gonna pick Fife. I think Fife. I think Fife's gonna blow them out. The spread's a little too low for that one. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Fife.
I'm going to have to agree with Reese and Dillard on this one, and Taylor. I mean, all across the board, I'm going to agree, and I'm going to say Fife. Fife's going to win this game. The Red Devils, when looking at this game, this is actually a big rivalry between these two teams. This is like the 50th time they've ever played each other, you know, and so, I mean, I'm going to go with Fife. These two teams are very familiar. Fife going on the road, I don't think they'll be too, provoked when going on the road against Sylvania. They're used to it, and I think Fife finishes their regular season with 9 wins and gets this big one on the road against the Rams. And now we move to a 6A at 4A game, and it's going to be between the number 8 Oxford Yellow Jackets. We've covered them a lot on this show, Coach Etheridge's former team, and they're 7-2 overall and 3-1 when going on the road. And they're going on the road this week to number 7 Jacksonville, number 7 team in 4A. They're 8-1 overall and 4-0 when playing at home. Who do y'all got between the Yellow Jackets and the Golden Eagles?
So Jacksonville is actually favored by 4 in this game, being the home team. But this Oxford quarterback, his name is Mason Mims. He's a junior, number 16. He's torched his opponents all year with almost 2,000 yards on the season and 22 touchdowns. I mean, if you have 22 touchdowns, you're pretty good. And they have 2 running backs over 600 yards. All I got to say is the Yellow Jackets will win very easily in this game.
This is a smart kid right here. Don't count on Oxford. Even after Coach Etheridge left, which was a big hole to fill, right? They really stepped it up, and they've continued on that lineage. They won't have a repeat what happened in the Flag Football State Championship. Oxford will walk out with the win against Jacksonville. Give me Oxford.
Last week.
Oh yeah, no. Come on.
I didn't go with Oxford, but I'm changing my mind in this game. I'm going with Oxford. Oxford gets the big win here for their last game of the season and gets ready for the playoffs.
Once again, I'm going to have to agree with the entire panel here. I'm going to go with the Yellow Jackets as well. I mean, it's a difference between 2 divisions, but also not only that, but this Oxford team, like y'all said, I mean, they haven't missed a beat since losing Coach Etheridge to the Auburn Tigers. I mean, but I think they will win on the road tonight against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a great team, but I just don't think they have enough firepower and depth to beat these Oxford Yellow Jackets. So give me the Yellow Jackets on the road to get a big win to end their regular season and going into the playoffs. And now we're going to go to 6A at 5A, and it's going to be between the Centerpoint Eagles, that are actually ranked in 6A, but they're a very good team. They're 7-2 overall, 5-1 when going on the road, and they're going on the road to the number 5 Leeds Green Wave, who are a 5A team, but they're 7-2 overall and 4-1 when playing at home. Who do y'all got between the Eagles and the Green Wave?
So this is going to be a great game, and it shows with the line only favoring Leeds by 1 point. Although Leeds is a 5A going against a 6A, which you don't see a lot, I got to agree with the line. Leeds has proven all year why they're ranked number 5 in their class. They've beaten great teams to get there. Go Green Wave.
I agree. Centerpoint. I mean, for real. Sorry, my Walmart orders here. The Leeds. Very good team. Plus, it's at Leeds, right? They're the home team. Yeah. Give me Leeds. They're right team to pick.
Charles Barkley is from Leeds. That's my boy. I love Charles Barkley. I'm going with Leeds here. I think Leeds gets a game-winning field goal on Friday night.
Once again, we're all in agreement. I'm going to go with Leeds to win this one as well. Last year, if I remember correctly, they were in the state. They went to the state championship game in 5A. So, they're a really good team. I could have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure they went to the 5A state championship. But I'm going to go with Leeds at home here. Centerpoint, good team, good quality team. But, they're not ranked, and Leeds is ranked top 5 at home. And they're having a great season once again. So I think they finished with 8 wins on the season, and they beat the Eagles at home. And now we move into a 6A at 7A matchup. This one should be exciting. The number 4 Muscle Shoals Trojans, sorry, a lot of. Yeah. And then they're 8-0 overall and 5-0 when going on the road. And they're going away to the Sparkman Senators, who are coming off of a tough loss against Florence last week. They're 5-4 overall and 3-1 when playing at home. Who do y'all got between the Trojans and the Senators?
This is another great matchup that you don't see a lot. These two teams don't play a lot. Muscle Shoals is favored by 19, and I got to agree with this. Muscle Shoals ranked number 11 in the state on Max Preps. They've got an 8-0 record, beating great teams, 7A teams such as Bob Jones, Florence, and James Clemens, who are the 3 playoff teams from that region. So this, in my opinion, is the best 6A team, and they won't stop now. Go Trojans.
How much is the favorite, Bob?
19.
Muscle Shoals. Right.
I can't wait to see Muscle Shoals in the playoffs. I actually got to watch one of their games earlier in the year, and they're a pretty good team. I'm taking Muscle Shoals in this one.
Yeah, once again, we're all in agreement here.
You don't have to keep saying that every time.
I'm going to go with the Trojans here as well. I think they beat Sparkman. Sparkman, they're no longer actually in the playoff hunt. After that, good start to their season. They started out 5-0, but they're about to lose their 5th straight game. So give me the Trojans on the road beating Sparkman. And now we're going to move to our last non-7A at 7A game. It's 6A at 7A, and it's the number 7 Hartselle Tigers, who are 7-2 overall and 3-1 when going on the road. They're going on the road to Bob Jones, who just got a big win to clinch their spot in the playoffs after a lot of people didn't think they would get it. They've won 3 straight games. They're 5-4 overall and 2-1 when playing at home. Who do y'all got between the Tigers and the Patriots?
So Bob Jones barely favored by 2 in this game. I got to agree with this line. That 5-4 record, it's not super impressive. But, what a bounce-back season for the Patriots so far. They started off 0-3, then turned around beating great teams such as Huntsville, Florence, and Sparkman all in a row. And clinching a playoff spot was huge, like you said. And Bob Jones has a killer run game with running back Tyron Washington with 1,110 yards and 14 touchdowns. Go Patriots, but not the Tom Brady one.
Taylor, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to disagree with Bob Jones on this one. Okay? Here's the thing. Bob Jones is on a great tear. They did bounce back. And what did you say, Max? They clinched the playoffs? They're going to have a little bit of a lull this week. Okay? That jubilation of getting to the playoffs, that was a big $2 word right there. Jubilation, right? I think they're going to be a little bit, and Hartselle's they're not a pushover. They're a good team. They're a good team, right? I think Hartselle's going to go in there confident to get this big win to keep their momentum going into the playoffs. Give me Hartselle over Bob Jones.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Bob Jones is a good team, but I like Hartselle in this matchup. But I think it's gonna be a close one. It's gonna come down to the wire. Friday night, and I think it's going to be a good game, but I got hard to sell.
I'm actually going to have to agree with the guy to my right here. I know y'all are all to my right, but the one directly next to me, Taylor here. I'm going to go with Bob Jones winning this one at home. Like you said, I understand them, you thinking they're going to have a low week at home, but I feel like actually them clinching the playoffs and having one of their best seasons as of late, I feel like they're going to be very, very motivated to get another win for the fans at home. So give me Bob Jones at home. It's going to be a very close game, though, very close. And now we move into our last three matchups, and they're all Region 2 in-region matchups. And this one, maybe, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in this one? Number 1 Central, who's 8-0 overall and 7-0 in Region 2. They're going to be the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. And they're going on the road to Prattville, who's 3-6 overall and 2-4 in Region 2. Not going to be able to make it to the playoffs, but let's see if they can get a huge upset tonight. Who do y'all got between the Red Devils and the Lions?
Central, they're favored by 42. Cam Coleman is the GOAT. And shout out Patrick Nix.
You said 40. You said the computer simulation says 42.
42.
Yeah.
Cam Coleman with 7 touchdowns.
No, jeez.
Central.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Patrick Nix.
Yeah.
We're
going Central.
Okay, yeah, I'm
We're
going
going
Central as well.
Okay.
If you say Prattville, Prattville's kind of close.
Well, I'm going to change the graphic here and pick Prattville.
I'm gonna pick.
And shout out to Prattville. They came into Auburn last week, and they definitely kept playing tough. They kept playing tough. And shout out to that Lions team. They got a lot of good dudes over there. They got a lot of good dudes. Now, do they have the year that they wanted to? No. But look, only one team can win the championship, right?
True.
And Prattville just wasn't that team this year. But next year, watch out for this Prattville team. I put Prattville in the same position as Opelika. And I know there's been some recent news with Opelika and their head coach, right?
Yeah.
And they're looking for one now, right? So, Max, put in your resume, okay? But they're in that same region. They're a good team. They haven't broken through that line yet to get to the top 4 in this region, right? So that's what I'll say about Prattville.
Yeah,
keep their heads up.
Yeah, you're completely right. they're a very young team as well. They're going to be returning a lot of players from this year's team, and so coming into next season, and this would be a huge, the hugest momentum booster going into next season. I don't think it's going to happen tonight. I think Central's going to win this one on the road. The Red Devils go into the playoffs and they gain momentum. And now we're going to go to our last game before our main matchup tonight. It's going to be, but this one is a huge one if you're a Tigers fan out there. It's Percy Julian, who's 5-4 overall and 3-4 in Region 2 play. They're going on the road against number 7 Enterprise, who's 7-2 overall and 5-2 in Region 2 play. Who do y'all got between the Phoenix and the Wildcats?
So Enterprise is favored by 8. This is a huge game for playoff implications. And Enterprise is under a lot of pressure. Their offense has not been great this season. I'm on the Percy Julian bandwagon, and they're my most improved team in the state of the year. I love their head coach, second-year head coach. Go Phoenix, and Enterprise will slip up and get the 4 seed.
Jeez.
Couldn't take off the blue-colored glasses, man. Right? Look, Percy Julian very much improved. This was the year for them. Very much improved. Good team. I'm excited to see what they do next year. It has been, no matter what happens in the Enterprise game going to the offseason, this season, they won the championship this year.
Yeah.
Right? To them.
They're like UCF.
They're like UCF. But they're not winning Friday.
Oh.
And as much as I would love for Auburn to come back home and to host another home game where I can sit up in that press box for hours on end and be up here at 5 a.m. on a Friday and get everything ready and get up, set up 6 cameras. I love it.
On your birthday, too.
On my birthday. I would love to host a football game for my birthday.
This sounds sarcastic.
Enterprise will win this football game.
Don't get me wrong. I think Percy Julian's a great team. I think next year they have a shot to make the playoffs, but I'm taking Enterprise here. Even though Enterprise hasn't been the best over the past few weeks, I'm still taking Enterprise.
This is a huge game. This is a huge game. This is a huge game, especially if you're a Tigers fan out there. Because if Percy Julian does get the upset, Auburn returns home, and the fans are going to pack out the duck for one last time this year. But if it's most likely going to be Enterprise winning this game. I mean, everything points to it. They're number 7 ranked. They're 7-2 overall. You know, they're the team that beat Auburn and stuff. They're looking to get the 2 seed. I mean, one of their best seasons in a while. But I'm going to go with the Phoenix on the road here. I think that the Phoenix, like you said, Dylan, you laid it all out perfectly. I mean, they've had the best season. They've had their best season in, like, forever, like, probably in history. So I got Percy Julian getting to 6 wins, 6-4. Nobody believed in them, but they're going to do it on the road. They're going to do it on the road. I was about to say it, but they're going to do it on the road and beat the Wildcats. Give me Percy Julian. And now we move into the game. Y'all are all here to watch us count down. It's the number 5 Auburn Tigers, who are 7-2 overall, 5-2 in the region. They're going on the road to Smith Station, who's 1-8 overall, 1-6 in the region. Who do y'all got between the Tigers and the Panthers?
So Auburn is favored by 43 in this game. And the Auburn Tigers are going to prove why when everyone shut them out after that Enterprise loss, we won the games that matter. We clinched that playoff spot, no matter if it's a 2 through 4 seed. And with Jackson Kilgore coming back, this whole team being healthy, the Tigers are on fire right now and will beat the Smith Station Panthers. Go Tigers. Last regular season game. Let's do this, and let's go to the playoffs.
I'm going with Auburn here. They're going to get a big win. Last game of the regular season. Can't wait to see what they do in the postseason, depending on who we play that first game. But, you know, I say Auburn wins.
Give me my receipt back.
I just want to see what you bought. But, yeah, Auburn wins.
Yeah, I mean, this game, you know, Smith Station, I mean, they got a big win 2 weeks ago against Jag. I mean, you know, so they're coming in this game. I mean, like we said earlier, they'd love nothing more on their senior night to beat this Auburn team, upset them. But I got to go with the Tigers on the road here, move to 8-2. And they're going to be watching that Percy Julian Enterprise game closely as well to see if they get, you know, a chance at the Duck to win at home in front of the fans next week. So give me the Tigers. Very inspired effort to beat the Panthers on the road tonight. Now, Dillard, former Smith Station alum, who do you got winning this game?
This year's my 10-year reunion for Smith Station High School.
Oh, wow.
Right? And actually, for the last 10 years, in my wallet, this is my wallet diploma from Smith Station High School. I got, see, look at that. Advanced diploma from Smith Station High School. Wow. Advanced was the highest you could get. We didn't have like IB or anything like that at Smith Station. Right? Awarded in 2014, right? I'm going to put that right here at my advanced diploma. Okay?
Don't leave it.
10-year reunion, diploma on the table.
You're not picking. There's no way.
No.
Okay, yeah.
No.
I was about to say.
And you want to know why I'm not picking Smith Station, Reese?
Why?
Because you get paid.
I get paid by who?
Auburn.
That's what I thought.
Oops.
I'm going to pick the Auburn Tigers, not only because Auburn beat Smith Station 63-0 last year. We had that broadcast. Go watch it on AHS Media on YouTube. Right? And that was the worst loss in Smith Station history. Until this year, when they lost to Dothan 66-0.
He's going to do it.
Right? So all I'm saying is this. Auburn, 2 objectives in tonight's game. Get your record back and get on the path to Tuscaloosa tonight. Auburn over Smith Station. What the score going to be? I don't care. Cause I'm ready for round 1 of the playoffs. Wherever we going, we can go to Enterprise, we can go to Auburn, we can go to Mary Montgomery, Baker. I don't care where we're going. Wherever we go, Auburn High football travels. We're gonna be good wherever we go.
There you go.
Okay. I'm not putting that on. Get that out of here. Right? I'm not putting that on. Right? Give me Auburn. Give me Auburn. Look, I won't put the head on, right? But I'll do this again. All right. Bow down to the king. You know who it is. Here. You don't need to see that no more. Right? So I'm gonna pick Auburn, and this guy picked Auburn right here too. All right. All right. So go ahead and close up the show.
And that'll do it for AHS Countdown for myself as well as the rest of the crew here at AHS Countdown, as well as a very special thanks to our guest picker, Mr. Dillard. We hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and we hope to see you next Tuesday for Auburn basketball's home opener versus Brubaker Tech on AHS Mass Media.
Wait. One more thing.
One more thing.
It's Prattville.
Oh, Prattville. There you go. He's the man. He knows it. He's
Don't
the one
worry.
who tells me
Brubaker's on Wednesday. You're jumping the gun. Brubaker is back to back. You get Prattville on Tuesday, and you get Brubaker on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, it's a day off. But
Yeah.
then Friday is my birthday and round 1 of Auburn High football against whoever decides to step up against us. No matter what happens, it's a dub.
There you go. He said it here first. That's going to do it for HS Countdown. Enjoy the game tonight and come back here next Tuesday.